My name is Clara Matthews, and I am a registered nurse from Ohio. What I am about to share is not a story I ever thought I would tell publicly, but something inside me kept whispering. People need to hear this. If you are watching, please subscribe because what I saw in those moments between life and eternity changed everything I believe about reality, time, and God. It was supposed to be a normal night in the ICU, the steady hum of machines, the faint scent of antiseptic, and the quiet prayers of families outside. But that night, everything changed. I remember checking a patient's vitals when the lights flickered twice, and suddenly, a sharp dizziness swept through me. My colleague Mia called my name, but her voice faded like a dream dissolving. Then came the silence, not the kind you hear, but the kind that erases sound itself. I felt my knees give way, my vision blur into a white mist, and in an instant, I was no longer standing. I was watching. From above, I saw Mia rush toward my body, calling for help. Doctors ran in slow motion, their faces pale, their lips moving, but no sound reached me. I should have been terrified, but I wasn't. Instead, peace wrapped around me like a soft blanket. The walls of the ICU began to glow faintly, as if light was breathing through them. I whispered, "Lord, please don't let me go yet." But deep down I knew something sacred was unfolding. Time no longer made sense. Seconds stretched like eternity. I could feel my heartbeat slowing, each pulse echoing like a distant drum. Then I heard it, a hum, gentle and musical, surrounding me. It wasn't the sound of this world. It was alive. In that moment I realized I wasn't dying. I was crossing over. A light began to bloom above me, not blinding but tender, like the dawn rising behind closed eyes. And from within that light, I felt the presence, vast, loving, intelligent. It didn't speak words, but I could hear it inside my soul. "You're safe, Clara. You are being shown." I wanted to ask, shown what? But before I could think, everything around me began to dissolve. The hospital, the machines, even the weight of my own body. I was floating in a silence filled with meaning. And for the first time in my life, I understood what it meant to be known, completely, deeply, without fear. The light around me began to move, not like fire or electricity, but like breath. It pulsed softly, drawing me closer. The deeper I drifted into it, the more I felt that this wasn't a place at all. It was someone. The light was alive. I didn't walk or float. I was carried. Every fear I had ever known, pain, guilt, even doubt, melted away as if love itself was washing me clean. I remember whispering, "Where am I?" But the answer came not through sound, but through knowing. "You are within the source of everything you have ever loved." And then I felt him. The presence. The one I had prayed to 1,000 times beside dying patients, even when I wasn't sure he heard. He was there, Jesus. He did not come as an image from paintings, nor as thunder and flame. He came as recognition, like remembering a face I had always known. His light grew brighter until I could see the outline of a man, gentle, radiant, eternal. He looked at me with eyes that were not just eyes, they were worlds, filled with understanding. When he spoke my name, Clara, it wasn't a word. It was truth entering my soul. "Clara," he said, "we need to talk." I couldn't speak. I could only listen as his voice moved through every part of me, like music made of love. "You have cared for the sick, wiped tears, and prayed in silence," he said. "You thought those moments were small, but heaven saw every one of them." I trembled, overwhelmed. "Why me, Lord? Why show this to someone so ordinary?" He smiled, a smile that made all of eternity feel kind. "Because ordinary hearts carry the greatest truth. You have listened your whole life, Clara. Now, I need you to hear what the world has forgotten." He raised his hand, and light streamed out, forming a golden bridge that shimmered like liquid peace. "Come," he said. "There is much to see." As I stepped forward, I saw countless souls below, rising and descending like rivers of light. "These," he whispered, "are stories, every life, every prayer, every act of love, all connected, all remembered." Then he turned to me and said softly, "The world is about to awaken. For strange events will soon ripple through creation, not to destroy, but to remind humanity who they are." The light around us deepened into a vast horizon, and I felt both awe and sorrow. "Lord," I asked, "will people understand?" He looked far beyond me, into a distance I could not see. "Only those who choose love over fear." And with those words, he placed his hand over my heart. A warmth spread through me, not heat, but purpose. I knew this was only the beginning of what he would reveal. If you believe that God is still speaking through his chosen souls, please comment Amen below. Who knows, as you write that word, his blessing may reach you. The golden bridge beneath my feet shimmered like living glass. Each step beside Jesus felt weightless, as if peace itself was holding me up. Ahead, the light unfolded into what looked like a horizon made of sound. I could hear it before I could see it, a deep hum, ancient and sacred, echoing through eternity. Jesus stopped walking and turned to me. His gaze was calm, yet filled with purpose. "Clara," he said, "the heavens will speak before men do. Watch now." The light before us expanded, revealing earth floating below. Blue, fragile, breathing. I saw clouds begin to swirl in patterns I had never seen before, forming shapes that pulsed like living symbols. Every vibration carried meaning, like prayers spoken by creation itself. "What is happening, Lord?" I whispered. He answered softly, "The first sign is the song of the sky. When fear reaches its loudest, heaven will answer with harmony." I looked closer and saw people standing outside their homes, gazing upward as twilight fell. The air trembled with invisible music, tones that seemed to come from nowhere, yet everywhere at once. Some people were afraid. Some dropped to their knees and prayed. Others just stood in wonder. "The world will call it science," Jesus said. "They will say it is atmospheric sound or magnetic waves. But those who carry peace will know, it is my call." I listened again, and the hum deepened. It was not noise. It was memory, as if all creation was remembering its maker. Every tree, every ocean, every soul vibrated with the same rhythm. It was the heartbeat of heaven breaking through the veil. The music grew brighter until I felt it inside me, resonating with every cell of who I was. My tears became light. I whispered, "Lord, it's beautiful." He smiled, eyes shimmering like dawn. "Do not let them fear the sound. Tell them, when the sky begins to sing, the veil between heaven and earth is thinning. Light is preparing to enter." Then everything fell still again. The hum faded into silence, but its echo stayed inside me, like a note that never truly ends. I realized the first sign wasn't meant to frighten us. It was an invitation. A reminder that heaven has never been silent, we just stopped listening. Jesus turned to me once more and said gently, "There will be more signs, Clara. But remember, each begins not with warning, but with love." And in that moment, I felt something within me awaken, as if my own soul had remembered its song. After the song of the sky faded, Jesus lifted his hand again. The light shifted into an endless horizon, a sea of silver and blue that stretched beyond sight. It shimmered as if the waters themselves were alive. "Look closely," he said. "This is your world, remembering its purity." I watched as the surface of the ocean began to glow, not with fire, but with peace. Every wave carried color, soft golds, violets, and blues, moving in perfect harmony. The waters rose like breath, pulsing with a heartbeat that echoed the song of heaven. "What is happening, Lord?" I asked. He smiled. "The earth is cleansing itself. Humanity has poured sorrow into the waters, but now creation is answering back." I saw people along real coastlines watching as their oceans shimmered under the moonlight. Some recorded it with their phones. Others simply fell to their knees. "Scientists would call it bioluminescence," he said. "But this light carries no science, only grace." Jesus knelt, touching the glowing water. Ripples of silver spread outward, reaching every shore, every river. Tell them, he said softly, when the oceans shine, it is not the end. It is healing. The earth itself longs for redemption. As he spoke, the scene transformed again. The waves faded into a golden meadow under a rising sun. Children were playing, laughing, running, holding hands. Their presence filled the air with warmth. Who are they? I asked, overwhelmed by the beauty of their joy. They are the children of light, Jesus said. They are being born now, carrying memories of harmony. They will rebuild the heart of the world. I saw flashes of newborns around the globe, in hospitals, villages, and cities. Each carried a faint glow, an inner awareness untouched by fear. These children would speak words of love naturally, not from learning but from remembrance. One little girl touched the ground, and flowers bloomed beneath her hands. A boy whispered to a wounded bird, and it took flight again. These were not miracles, they were restorations. Protect their innocence, Jesus said. The world will doubt them, but their light will overcome the noise of fear. Tell humanity, when you see the children with eyes of peace, know that heaven is near. I wept silently. The purity of these souls pierced my heart. Lord, will we deserve them? He looked toward the horizon, where sunlight met eternity. Only if you remember the child within yourselves. And in that moment, I understood. Heaven's greatest work would begin not through power, but through innocence. The light around us began to change again, softer now, like dawn breaking after a long night. Jesus looked upward, and the sky above shimmered with thousands of colors I had never seen before. It was as if heaven itself was breathing. This, he said, is the final sign, the renewal. Before me, earth appeared once more, glowing softly like a living soul. I saw forests growing back faster than time, rivers turning clear again, and people gathering in prayer. Cities no longer glowed from buildings, but from hearts. The air itself shimmered with unseen grace. What am I seeing, Lord? I asked, trembling. He turned to me and said, this is what follows the four signs, the healing of creation. Humanity will feel it in their bodies and spirits. Some will call it exhaustion, others awakening. But it is renewal. The earth and heaven are remembering each other. I watched as auroras danced over the poles, rivers of light weaving through the sky. The world pulsed like one great heart, alive with forgiveness. Lord, I whispered, how can we ever deserve this mercy? He looked at me, and his eyes carried eternity. Because love never stopped believing in you. Tears filled my being, not sadness, but recognition. I saw flashes of people helping strangers, forgiving enemies, holding each other through storms. Every act of kindness became a spark in the fabric of the earth. The planet itself was glowing with love. Then Jesus spoke again, his voice both gentle and powerful. You must tell them what you have seen, not as prophecy, but as hope. The light is not coming to punish. It is coming to heal. But hearts must soften first. I bowed my head. I will, Lord. I promise. He smiled and stepped closer, placing his hand over my heart. Do not fear being misunderstood. You are not returning to explain heaven. You are returning to remind earth of it. As he spoke, light began to swirl around us, gold, blue, and white, wrapping me in warmth. I felt my soul being pulled gently back. Lord, I whispered through tears, will I see you again? Every time you love without reason, he said softly. Every time you choose patience over pride, I am there. Then he placed something into my hands. It wasn't an object, but warmth, energy, truth. This is remembrance, he said. When you doubt, hold it in your heart, and you will know I never left. The light around me grew brighter until all I could see was gold. Then came the sound, not thunder, but a heartbeat. My own. I gasped as breath returned to my lungs. The hospital lights came into focus. I heard Mia crying, "You're back." And I whispered, "I never left." 4 days after, I could still feel his presence, in every heartbeat, in every act of care I gave. I realized heaven wasn't something to wait for. It was something to live. If you believe that God's light and love is still reaching humanity today, comment Amen below. Because maybe at that very moment, God is seeing you and placing His blessing on your heart.